Hello, everybody. This is Justin Case of American Newscape, joining our friend and media personality Jerry Maldonado back for another installment of American Mentoring. Hello, Jerry. Welcome back to American Newscape.
Hey, hey, it's Monday again, man. Let's do this. Here we go.
Let's revel in our Monday. Okay.
There's banter. Here we go.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay. All right. Now, this is going to be one of, I believe, our more powerful interviews, and it's all about knowing our limits. So, Jerry, what's happening with knowing our limits?
Well, you answered the question before we came on. You and I have this belief there is no limits, and that kind of mindset is awesome because you put yourself in a place where you're limitless. And a lot of us have been conditioned. You and I, for example, we were taught very young, probably, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. The imagination is yourself. That's the limitless mind that you will live by every day. And I love the video that you sent to me about, the people in these fields, like especially ER nurses and doctors. They're in fields that they should not see things in life. And when you have a limitless mind, you find endless opportunities to not let your job run your life, but you run your life in essence. And it was a great story to see. It was a great interview to go by.
Well, it was, coping skills. All of us
Yes,
required different coping skills to get through, get by. I was
yes,
I was touched by that video. It was basically the life and the day of a Detroit hospital's emergency room doctors and nurses dealing with. You can imagine what they were dealing with: gunshots, people passing before them. It it just it struck me that rarely do we have a chance to stop and pay attention to the types of things that these people were dealing with. And these were compassionate, very, very good people, and they were having to deal with
yes.
it. And a lot of
Yeah,
things,
they
lo-
go ahead. Go ahead.
well,
Now finish up.
a lot of the things that you talk about, Jerry, could be tools that could help some of them, could help some police officers dealing with horrific traffic accidents and shootings and first on scene things. Um, because they are coping skills. That plan to the preparation of what they're going to be dealing with. What they talked about in that video of the nurses was they go into it, they do it, but they're trying to protect themselves from the burnout.
Yes. Yes. I mean, you and I talked about this on the pre-show. If you're doing what you love, it's easier to cope than doing what you don't want to do in life, as far as your occupation or vocation, whatever it might be. I go into this in depth. These guys? Yes, indeed. I mean, I know many, including my younger brother, who runs a cardiovascular unit in some Florida hospitals down there. But he just loves what he does. And these guys got to have a passion for it, just like you got to have a passion for whatever you're doing in life. That's the limitless mind. Because with a limitless mind, you come up with limitless coping skills to deal with what you're doing. Indeed, we're all stressed out. I mean, in some form or fashion, but it's holding that stress internally is what hurts you emotionally and physically.
Well, I agree with you, Jerry. It's almost like the more you're riding the waves, the less impact the wipeouts will do to you.
Yes, yes, it's doing what you love, no matter what it is. I mean, it sounds so redundant to some people. Ah, do what you love. No, indeed, when you're doing what you love, you're flowing, you're riding the wave, and it's so important that you get beyond that limits, beyond those limits that life has put in front of us, either figures or whatever it might be in life. You're getting beyond those limits, you become limitless. Therefore, you open your mind to possibilities, opportunities, and ways to cope with. Yes, indeed, we all have stressful jobs. We all have stressful lives in some certain way. But how you manage that is that limitless mind, and you're not doing what you have to do. You're doing what you want to do. Most importantly, you're doing what you love to do.
I agree. Another thing that touched me from the video, if people haven't figured that out, there was one statement that said, "I may forget never, but I need not be constantly reminded."
Oh, powerful. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Indeed. I mean, these guys carry so much weight on their shoulders, but and I noticed from the video itself in general that some doctors take it personally and some take it professionally. And it was a great way because, I've been hospitalized and had the surgeries and everything else. And you can always tell, I really want the guy who deals with me professionally because he's there to do a job. And I don't want him to drag on my energy. Indeed, I might have been hurt or have gone through certain things. I want him to deal with me the best way he can, the way he was trained as a person, as a professional, as a doctor. When you get into emotionally involved people who are very passionate, mind you, don't get me wrong, but you want them to be forward thinking in their profession. And when you start getting emotionally involved with your work like that, it can hinder it. And I've asked my brother about this, and he goes, "It's just me doing my job the best way I can." And when you're doing your job or whatever you love the best way you can, you just open the door. You've opened ways to figure out better ways to do it, better ways of coping with it, better ways of dealing with it on a professional level. Therefore, it doesn't affect you on an emotional level.
Right, right. Well, and that's self-preservation.
Yes.
Your brother's preparedness. I mean, let's not call him the master of his own domain, but maybe he is. But that helps him, and that helps everybody around him. So his
Yes.
preparedness touches his teams.
Yes. Yes. He didn't shut people out. Don't get me wrong. These guys, I don't know how they think, and I know several of them that work in the field. And mind you, all of them have gotten sick. I mean, they've hurt themselves. They try to cope with it, but you're surrounded with this stuff all day long. I don't know how they do it. God bless them. But at the same time, to cope with seeing your own kind in that kind of state is I mean that's why they're called heroes. Policemen, firemen, EMTs. My brother started from the bottom. He was an EMT, and that ain't the bottom, but he saw flesh and blood firsthand. Then going up to where he is now, to deal with something like that, you got to have a passion for it, and having that passion for what you're doing only opens the door even more to finding better ways to cope with it. We all deal with this every day in our own work and our own lives. But like he says, he loves what he does, no matter what it has cost him. He loves what he does, and therefore he finds ways to deal with it in his own way.
How might journaling help us prepare, cope, uh, if we're under these types of stresses, Jerry?
Journaling to me is just my own therapy of allowing the goodness of life in. I mean, you let go of your limits. When you start journaling, you are limitless. Your imagination is, people got to realize, your imagination is you. It's you as a whole. And the more you put yourself in there, not in this hairy fairy kind of thing, but the more you put yourself in your imagination, your purpose, your dream, your love of life, that's what journaling is for me. It's me, pen to paper of who I am as a person, and my own little cheerleading squad, man. And we all need that. We all need that in life. We all need that because we're not going to get it from the outside world. Let go of that. Just be yourself. Be your dream. Be your imagination in your inside world. Watch it manifest because you just opened the door, like I said before, to limitless possibilities in your life.
What was that a technical term, Jerry? Harry Fairy? Harry Fairy?
I create my own words, man. You know me.
Oh, I do
I
too.
just go on out. I like the. We're gonna get back to the physicality again. Here we go, rock and roll, man. I love it. I love it.
Well,
But no, indeed. Go ahead.
but in this atmosphere, we have people actually listening to us.
Oh
You,
yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah.
you,
Thank you very much, guys. I mean, a couple of thousand. It's awesome. I feel privileged to be here in your presence, Mr. King. It's awesome.
oh, yeah, my presence. No, we're grateful that you put some energy into us, and that's what this is all about. It's sharing energy, and
Yeah.
we talk about uh, do as I say, don't do as I do. No, no, no. That's when I was coaching. But this isn't about. This is just discussing some potential tools for people.
Yeah, it's just information. I've never considered myself a motivation, that kind of guy, life coach. No, I'm just sharing information that's been around for thousands of years.
But you,
Go ahead.
but you could have been a life coach had you put your
Oh yeah,
mind to it.
I did. I had one client. I had one client, but by the time I was through after our first session, I needed therapy, man. I was like, nah, nah. It's like having a paid friend. I'm sorry, and I felt bad taking his money. I mean, but at the same time, yeah, you're right. The energy. I just want to share information and do it on a massive scale. And this platform that you give is awesome. And for us sharing this information, it only enhances others to share information about themselves as well. And journaling for me is just me sharing my information with myself and showing the limitless possibilities that I have for my life and constantly reiterating that on a level. I watched I worked overnight and I had watched the service on Fox on Sunday morning, and they had this Monsignor on there. And I'm not getting into the biblical thing to get out of that realm there, but he just said to find love, you have to show it consistently. And success is a constant level of you being and feeling successful. And that's all journaling does for me. And we're not digressing from the topic of what you were talking about, but coping with life is you constantly reiterating to yourself how blessed you are, how successful you are, and how blessed you are to move in life and what you want to do and living in that, how should we say, imaginatory, there's a word for you, state of mind of believing in yourself.
Everybody, Jerry is channeling his inner Walt Disney.
Absolutely. I just make up words, man, syllables and nouns. Here we go. But at the same time, I love when I got out of letting life run my life, I got into myself running my own life. And that's the best gift you can give yourself. But most importantly, getting back to our topic of coping with it, if you love what you do, you're going to find a way. And this is what people have to realize. Yeah, indeed, the job is hard. Indeed, whatever, I've done many jobs where I didn't want to be there, man. And I wonder why I was so unhappy because I wasn't doing what I love to do. If you're doing what you love to do, you got a passion for it, you're going to find a way to cope with it.
Well, I think coping skills, they fall right into line when you're talking about love. If you don't accept the principle of love, you're never going to find love. If you cannot
Yes,
love, don't expect someone to love you.
exactly. You've answered the question. I mean, you literally attract who you are. And this is what people have to grasp on. We're all magnets, and whatever we send out is going to come back. You can call it a magnet, you can call it karma, whatever you want to call it. And you have to be the part in life every day to attract the part in life every day. That's why I try and I do it passionately to be who I am. I'm the same person on camera as I am in person. And that wholeness, they call it holy in scripture. No, it's just you being whole, man. It's just you being yourself. And the more you are yourself, the more you attract to yourself what you want for yourself.
Everybody, don't think I don't learn things, but yeah, coping, you have to accept the principle of coping to have any chance of learning how to cope.
Yes. Ignorance is bliss with some people. I get it. You know what I mean? But you got to let down that guard. And that's the hardest thing for a lot of people. Being stubborn is one thing, but being ignorant is another. Well, we all need help. And every day I'm watching, I'm listening to minds and absorbing everything like a sponge on how to cope with things better and to understand life better and to enjoy life better and share that. That's all you want to do at life is share your gift, share your passion, share your love, share your peace, and watch how life responds. Don't be so limited. Do what you love what you do, enjoy life to the fullest as best you can. The littlest things, whatever it might be, watch how life responds. You're not limited.
Wow. This reminds me of a 70s Coca-Cola commercial. And
Woo!
that
Yeah,
was a
where's
good.
that polar bear, man?
No, there were no polar bears in the 70s.
Oh my God! Yeah, but it was fun back then. It wasn't.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
life. Yeah, granted, you didn't have a lot. We didn't have a lot, but we did a lot. And now it just, yeah, technology's made a little bit more. I love technology. To me, it's made it more convenient. I got a library right in front of me. I can just go wherever I want to go every day. You don't have to go to the library anymore on a physical level. You can just open your phone. Bam, you got the world at your fingertips. That's the great thing about information. It's at your fingertips. So if
You,
you want to learn something, go do it.
for the youngsters, there was an Armageddon during Jeremiah as we were coming of age or getting into our adolescent adulthood. Coca-Cola decided to put out new Coke. And it was
Yeah.
Armageddon. It was Armageddon.
Oh, it's terrible.
Everybody, newspapers were writing about it. The TV's news
Oh,
it
it's
was
terrible.
just engrossed
Oh,
with it. Imagine
well,
if they had
it's a
done
great
that
point, though. Go ahead.
if they had done that today on social media. Oh my gosh, Kate lost them.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. I mean, I don't understand it. They got these things out there, but at the same time, we're all kind of broken in our own little way. But but Coke back then, I mean, even now, I enjoy it when I do the meal thing because I want the bubbles involved. But well, yeah, when they changed that flavor, no, it didn't suit well with me. But, but at the same time, just be open with your life. Be open to the possibility that you have possibilities. And with
Absolutely,
that kind of mindset, with that kind of mindset, you're not limited in life, man.
that's cool, Jerry. And it's amazing how I sidetrack everything. But and you bring it back
No,
to point. You bring it back to point, and
no, no,
I'm
no, no. I
still
just,
irritated.
I'm getting flashbacks of that taste when I first had the new Coke, man. I want to get off that topic. You triggered me back to a time that wasn't fun, man.
That was an ugly
It's like,
time. That well,
yeah.
yeah, especially with your culinary background.
Oh God, yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. Yeah, off the Coke, man. We gotta get back to topic here.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Jerry, you've given us a lot of coping skills, and you've given us a lot to think about, which is good. And people need to realize when Jerry and I talk, we may talk for a minute or two before the interview, but we really have no clue what we're going to say, nor is any of it scripted. But that's why these paths
Yeah,
can be quite interesting. But that's where
I love it.
we learn. We
Yeah,
learn.
yeah. Oh,
You know,
open the curtain, man. Oh, open the curtain and let the sun shine in. You're
a-
right.
absolutely. I go back and listen to what came out of my mouth to see if any of it was worthwhile. And sometimes I surprise myself because I may have said a couple worthwhile things.
We all try to plan everything in life, and I get it. But when you start just being in this state of mind as you and I are now, in this state of mind of limitless possibilities in life, you don't have to script anything. And you get to that point in life where the curtain opens and the sunshine comes in. You start allowing what you want. You start being what you want. You start attracting what you want, and coping with life. Yes, indeed, it's a temperamental thing, a momentary thing of dealing with something. But if you keep dragging on that moment beyond the moment, it creates more moments.
Well,
And that's what the Monsignor was talking about with love. It's a constant flow of love that you're going to bring constantly to you. Indeed, we all bring work home sometimes. And I do it, it's just, you have somebody or something happen in your life or at work, whatever it might be. Granted, not comparing myself to the EMTs or the nurses or doctors. I mean, those guys are on a higher echelon of dealing with stress and coping with it, but they deal with it with their own way. And you've got
yeah.
some doctors that have been there for decades that have learned how to cope with it. Perhaps they could share it like we share our inspiration to other people on how they cope with it on a massive scale.
Well, yeah, and living in that not being capable of coping, it quickly turns into you're haunted, and that's what we want
Yes,
people to get away from.
yes. It's that wagon behind, you're dragging the wagon, man. And I get it. We are very fragile, but yet very powerful at the same time. Our emotions create the next moment with our thought about it. And the more you see, it's like, yeah, indeed, when these guys see the most horrific things in life happening to their same kind and how they deal with it, it's up to them how they deal with it. And if they drag it home, perhaps it's not something they should be doing. But at the same time, if you love what you're doing, like I say it again, you'll find a way. And this is a great thing about life. If you're open to receive, you're going to receive. And however it may be, information, inspiration, whatever it might be, you got to be open to it. And if something is not right, you still love what you do and you love it, but it's just affecting you on a physical level, an emotional level. Find a better way to do it. Find a better coping skill to deal with it. Don't bottle it up. What hurts us is bottling up all those feelings and emotions of what we're seeing every day. Journaling helps me release that as far as coping with it and dealing with life. However people do it, meditation, whatever it might be, find a better way and you will.
Okay. Hey, Jerry, I think that's a great place to leave this.
Indeed.
And
Awesome show, man.
it was. And Jerry, thank you. Hey, everybody, this has been Justin Case and Jerry Maldonado bringing you American Mentoring. Thanks for joining us. Remember, additional information and links provided in this video is read more. And there's no hairy fairies that are going to be thrown at you. So today's the day to subscribe to this channel.
Wait, there was a unicorn. Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
The unicorn, man.
Lasso the unicorn. Please subscribe to this channel. And please take some time to try and learn more about Jerry Maldonado.